This is pretty special. This is big. This right here, these guys, class act. And I'm glad to be a part of it. I want to thank God. And I want to thank God because this is football heaven. When you retire, you may get a chance to go to football heaven. This is football heaven.
Hey guys, welcome to the Mission Podcast. I'm your host, Jameer Howerton. And as always, we have a cool show for you. It's week 4 in the NFL, and there's so much to unpack over the next 30 minutes or so. Joining us on the mission today, for me, he is the Hall of Famer that coined the term, "This is football heaven," as the second player drafted overall in the 1994 NFL draft by the Indianapolis Colts. He was an instant star as he rushed for 143 yards and scored 3 touchdowns in his rookie debut against the then Houston Oilers. From 1999 to 2001, he was the NFL's Offensive Player of the Year, and he was voted to 7 Pro Bowls, named All-AFC twice, and All-NFC 3 times in his career. Please welcome Super Bowl 34 champion, Mr. Marshall Faulk, to the mission. Well, you know what? I do got to ask you, fam. 1994, round 1, second selection overall. How exciting, how much of a blessing from that young brother from New Orleans to know that you were going to be in the league and being picked around that time.
Yeah, that's we always talk about reality TV, and that was like before reality TV was reality TV, because that's you get a kid, you understand that, man, you're about to live out a lifelong dream, and the opportunity is it's like before you. And the clock is ticking. And to a degree, you're like, I just want to hear my name called. But when you have the opportunity of, being drafted in the first round, being the first or the second pick, you want to hear that name called. And what a moment, man. What a moment. I always say, it ranks up there with Hall of Fame, winning a Super Bowl, MVP, having my kids, like it's monumentous, man. It was the birth of my professional football career.
Marshall, what's going on, my man? Thank you so much for giving us your time today.
Always a pleasure, man. Nothing much going on. Obviously, football season's underway. We just had a class come in to the Hall of Fame, which we're thankful to have a bunch of great guys. My coach Dick Vermeil, he got in. What a moment for him and his family. Time waited, but well deserved, and just excited about the season. A lot of good football.
Week four. So we're going to dive in. We're going to take a quick recap, a look back at week 3, some of the things that caught your attention. Hey, man. Unfortunately, injuries are part of the game. I want to get your perspective on some of the injuries that may impact some of these clubs. Look ahead to week 4, and of course, take you through our 2 hot new segments, Hall of Famer NFL Player Watch List and the Hall of Famer Hot Seat. But Marshall, before we dive in, man, I always like to get those life lessons, those treasures that when you get the opportunity to speak to students of all ages, I want to know, what is your message that you give to them?
Yeah, I think one thing that they believe when they see us, because they see us as a somewhat finished product, we're drafted, but along the way, a lot of things happens in life. And I want them to understand there's going to be speed bumps, potholes, detours, forks in the road. You're going to have to make some decisions. You're going to have to navigate some things in order to become successful. Be ready. Be ready to make the right decision and be ready to make the best decision, because the best decision sometimes could be the wrong decision, but you can make that wrong decision a right decision, and see it through. And that's life. I mean, that chalks up life for us all.
Marshall, you mentioned earlier how the new class, and Dick Vermeil was a part of that class. And 2 weeks ago, halftime at the Eagles-Vikings game, Monday Night Football, he was honored to get his ring of excellence. Just talk about what Dick Vermeil meant to you in your career.
To my football career, watching this man, he embodied what a coach was, and I'm not afraid to say at the time when I played for him, I really didn't appreciate it, but I got the pleasure to working with him in television afterwards, and I really got to see his gift. And I'll tell this story. We had a Thursday night game, the Atlanta Falcons and the Dallas Cowboys, and it was it was like big game. And Coach lost his voice.
Dick Vermeil, who's playing hurt tonight.
Yeah, I got to talk hurt tonight.
You all right?
I'm all right.
You gonna make it?
I'll make it.
We've got a great matchup.
And they literally pulled me in the box and asked me. I never called the game. I never called the game. And he coached me through calling an NFL game with his notes, standing behind me, guiding me through the game. And that's when I always respected him, but that's when everything I got to see.
That's amazing. Were you nervous?
Oh my God, terrified. I mean, I think the first couple of words were real high pitched, and I could have probably hit the high note on human nature. You know what I'm saying? Michael Jackson, human nature. I was just so high pitched, but man, to coach me through a game and just the back and forward of how it is and how you do it. What a moment in time in my career, my television career, and I'm glad I got a chance to see his gift.
All right, Marshall, let's take a look back and talk some shop. Week 3, what were some of your takeaways that caught your attention?
That the Miami Dolphins are for real. What a surprise. I know Buffalo has some guys out, but those are games that the Miami Dolphins normally lose. Baltimore Ravens, they need to just go ahead on and pay the man. I don't know what they're waiting for. It makes zero sense. Philadelphia Eagles got something special going on. They got something special going on. The Pittsburgh Steelers, when you have more than one quarterback, you got a problem. We're figuring that out. And I think the biggest one that we got to see is that we got to see the Dallas Cowboys operate with some balance. And I hope when Dak comes back, they operate with that balance and allow Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard, that offensive line, to do what they do, to kind of give the defense a rest, because the recipe against the Giants, whom I think are for real. I think the Giants are for real. And I'm going to say this. When Daniel Jones threw the interception, I was surprised. I didn't expect it from him. He had shown me enough in the past couple of weeks. And in that game, I was surprised. So I think he's turned the corner. And Brian has done a great job with it. The Giants are for real.
Looking at some of the injuries, what jumps out to you?
I'm gonna go back to the biggest injury of them all, TJ Watt. Mm-hmm. That really changed it all. Obviously, Justin Herbert watched the kid play hurt, but now his left tackle's out. That's a big one. That's a big one. And man, this kid has went down. I felt so bad for him. I watched 2 years ago when he got hurt. The Giants and I mean, a non-contact injury when you blow your knee out. They're going to miss him. Sterling Shepard is he's the senior guy in that meeting room when you think of wide receivers, and now that's not going to be there. But there's just injuries all around the league right now. Of course, it's attrition. And here's the thing: this is football now, because they go from not playing in the preseason to playing full speed real games, and we're going to have some of this. And the team that has the most depth, and the teams that can, let's say, hold it together until they get their guys back, those are the teams that's gonna have the better opportunities.
Now, Marshall, I know you played injured, you played bumped and bruised, but how challenging is it? Lions running back DeAndre Swift has a sprained shoulder. He's week to week. But if you could just talk about the challenges like early in the season now, as you're entering week 4, to have to deal with that throughout this long season.
It's nagging, it's nagging. And for him, a running back with the shoulder, you're lowering your shoulder. Guys falling on you. It's just something that you have to manage. I've sprained my shoulder several times. It becomes a management thing, and it's all dependent on the severity of it. What grade of sprain is it? And if he can deal with the pain, that's what it comes down to. There's a difference in being injured and hurt. There's a difference.
Right. All right, man. Well, as we look ahead to week 4, let's talk about some primetime matchups. Thursday night primetime matchup. The Finns travel to the jungle to face the Bengals in the Nasty Natty. Talk about that.
I love it, man. I love it. This takes us back to LSU, Alabama. I mean, these two guys, these two guys, they went at it at one point in time. And Cincy, this is a game that they feel good about. But I like the role that I see Miami on. And here's the question: is how healthy is Tua? He got banged up. It's a short week. We didn't even mention him. It's a short week. I know he came back into the game, but this is a short week. And injuries, they just don't turn around that quick on a short week.
As we looked at that game and we saw him go down, we think it was the effects of, being dinged, but then it later came back that he was actually reacting to a back injury. And I know the league is putting a league-wide investigation on this, but what are your thoughts on that?
I like the way the league is policing the head injuries and making sure that the teams and the players adhere to protecting the product on the field, which is the player, and making sure, because here, as a parent, you need to know that we're going to protect your kid even from himself. That's why you want him to play our game. And that's what they're doing, And if it's his back and they documented and they did everything that they did, cool. But I like the approach, and I like how they responded. I like how their head coach came to the forefront and said, "Hey, look, it was a back. Cool. Whatever help they need, we're gonna." Here's the thing. Let me say this. Miami is used to being under investigation.
Sunday morning, exclusively on the NFL Network, Vikings and Saints.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave that
We're
one
back in London.
Vikings,
We're back in London.
They're going across the pond. Talk about this matchup.
Always a fun game. This game is always about which organization handles logistics better. Who handles the logistics better? That's what this game comes down to. And the Saints are reeling right now.
Have you ever had to deal with that?
I didn't play over in London. We had stopped all the overseas games when I was in the league. But working in television and making that travel, the logistics is a lot. Mm-hmm. I always liken it to going to the Super Bowl. You go somewhere, you're practicing, it's foreign, it's different, and you got to get comfortable. Yeah. And you're not sleeping in the bed for one night as a road game. You're there for a whole week sometimes, or maybe 3 or 4 days. But I think the team who handles the logistics better gives their players a better opportunity to win.
And just an early prediction on that game, who you think that would handle those logistics better, the Vikings or the Saints?
I'm going with the Saints, and I'm going with the Saints just because I believe that they're more equipped to move forward. I feel like Jameis Winston is going to turn it around.
Okay. The Chiefs head down to Tampa Bay to face Tom Brady, but with the weather, that game could get moved to, I'm believing they're talking about Minnesota.
Yeah, and more logistics. Here we go. Like I think they've already left. I think Tampa already decided, look, we got to get a week of practice in. We understand this hurricane don't care about our practice. We got to get it in. So they're already on the road, and it's a home game for them. So there you go, logistics and adjustments. And so, big game, big game. Obviously, for this, 2 years ago, a Super Bowl matchup right here,
Yep.
and both teams, they're at a point to where when you look at how they just played the week before, this is that redemption game. You always want a Thursday game when you play bad on Sunday or you lose.
Yeah.
And both of them are coming off disappointing losses. And looking forward to watching these two quarterbacks orchestrate the short week and take advantage of what the defenses may not be able to do.
Barring any injuries, the Niners are back on prime time, and they will host the LA Rams.
Yeah, big time game. Huge rivalry game. And listen, if you're the Niners, and especially if you're Jimmy G, that NFC Championship game, it's like Similac. It's still on your breath. It's on the baby's tongue. Like it's got to be there. You want to wash it out of your mouth. And this game, it doesn't need more hype.
Right.
I'm telling you, this is a hard hitting game between two teams that don't really like each other. They're rivals, and I'm looking forward to watching it.
What other games will Marshall Faulk be watching besides these primetime matchups?
But I catch them all. Listen, man. I have them all on the TVs. Like I get them all. I pull them all up, and I'm watching. I just want to see. I want to see him play. Like I want to see who's doing what. I want to see who's going where, and that's the thing. There's just so many good games that we have this week, and anytime we can get the young quarterback versus the old quarterback. I like watching Justin Herbert play. I understand they're going to Texas. I want to see how that go. And I'm gonna tell you who I actually really like playing. I watched them all Hard Knocks. The Seahawks and the Lions. Like that's gonna be a little battle right there.
Right.
That's a battle. The Detroit Lions is must see football.
They are.
Dan Campbell. They are playing so hard, and I like the effort that they're putting out. Titans and Colts, another battle. Anytime you get the AFC South together, there's just so many games, man. And I'm excited to watch it. It's not just about prime time; it's anytime games because a lot of great things happen.
I spoke earlier in my intro about the Titans, the then Houston Oilers, going against the Indianapolis Colts. Somebody's rookie debut had 143 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns. Instant stardom.
Yeah, no, that was one of those gratifying moments. It's like, I made it to the league, but now you're here. What can you do? And then your first game. To like, I was like, all right, I can play here. It's like confirmation. I was right.
All right, Marshall, this is our new segment, the Hall of Famer NFL Player Watch List. This is brought to you by the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Visit profootballhof.com to book your trip to Canton today. Basically, Marshall, this is who are you watching, because this gives our viewers, our listeners, a chance to learn about some of the talent that we will see in the Pro Football Hall of Fame Today gallery. Not only do we celebrate the excellence of our heroes and yourself and your other brothers, but there are some guys that are making their way in the league today, and we want to know who our Hall of Famers are particularly watching.
Yeah, and me, I'm always watching guys that are like, it's not the guys. Some of the guys you expect, and some of the guys you don't expect. Little slot receiver, Amon St. Brown. This kid and what he's doing and being recognized. Last year, he bursted onto the scene. It was like, wow, okay, that was a fluke, or no, it ain't. Justin Jefferson, obviously, Kevin O'Connell. He's brought the Rams offense over there, and now you see this kid. He's looking like Cooper Kupp. Just really getting it going. CeeDee Lamb and how he's coming onto the scene, along with Tony Pollard and what they brought to the table. Let's see who else. Aiden Hutchinson. Kid had 3 sacks in the game as a rookie, man. That's you like these are the guys that I'm watching because they're the future of our game. And obviously there's some guys that we know about. And, although he's in his second year, you feel like Jamar Chase has been in the league a while, but he continues to put his thumbprint on this game. And just watching these guys continue to perform and produce, it's what we love. When you think about him in Baltimore, what Lamar Jackson is doing, he could be one of those quarterbacks that hits the Hall of Fame with the rushing yards, the dual threat quarterbacks, because we don't have many dual threat quarterbacks in the Hall of Fame. Most of them are deer in the headlight type guys, and so it's going to be interesting if the numbers continue to get put up, what he's doing, just the distance travel between where Jalen Hurts was and where he is, watching him play. Just to be able to see somebody's maturation happen in front of you, unbelievable, bro.
Well, there it is. The Hall of Famer players, the Hall of Famer NFL players watch list brought to you by the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And Marshall, we spoke before about it's week 4. There's a lot of excitement and how there are only 2 undefeated teams. However, when you look at the league, 27 teams, they either have 2 or 1 wins. So I'm really seeing like a well-balanced, as we head into week 4, some balance across the league.
Yeah, there's some parity. That's what we call it. But here's how I look at it. Early in the season, and because of how preseason is structured, these first 4 weeks, it's really a test to see. It's attrition, and it's like who has their team in a position to stay healthy, but yet get better. And I'm gonna say this because I watched how Buffalo came out the gate against the Rams, and I was like, man, this team looked ready, and I don't know if you needed your team to be that ready in week 1, because now you start to see the injuries. It was like maybe, and I used to try to give myself room to get better when I came to camp. Okay. I wanted to come into camp in shape, but I don't want to be in tip-top shape because camp breaks you down, and then you got to build yourself back up. And there's that that you got to kind of dance with it and make sure you're doing the right things so you're performing at the right times.
I got to talk about some topical news in the NFL. The Pro Bowl is being replaced in 2023 with it seems like it's going to
Pro Bowl games.
Yeah, Pro Bowl games. Talk about that. What are your thoughts on the Pro Bowl being dismissed?
Oh man, I mean, it's sad, and I think it's only sad until we see what they replace it with.
Okay,
it could end up being great TV, great for football, because the reality is this: the guys don't want to play it, they don't want to get hurt, it ain't working to them. It's just not.
You know what'd be kind of cool? The battle of the network stars. That vibe? Superstars.
Yeah.
It would do the obstacle courses and things of that nature.
Yeah.
But
put him on the American Ninja type courses and see what they can do.
Do you think it'll be kind of hokey though, or?
We don't know, man. But they have to do something to bring some entertainment to this game, because the players really don't want to play. To see guys just right. holding guys and not tackling them. I mean, if I'm a fan, I ain't for that.
Right. And with your 7 Pro Bowl nods, you guys played.
Oh, you damn right we did. Like, it was and let me say this: it was a badge of honor. It's a badge of honor to get out there and chop it up with the guys. But I understand. I get it. I'm not against what they're doing. I just hope it's good for the game.
All right, Marshall, let's go through our last segment, the Hall of Famer Hot Seat. Brought to us by our Hall of Fame merchandise store, where you can shop for all 32 teams and get your Hall of Fame swag. And also, you can use promo code MISSION and get 25% off. That's MISSION, 25% off. All right, Marshall, let's get into it. Favorite color?
Black.
Superhero and why? And who and why?
Superman, I want to fly.
Favorite NFL uniform?
Favorite NFL uniform, New Orleans Saints.
Masters or Super Bowl?
Super Bowl. It's a team event.
Favorite cereal, hot or cold?
I'm going cold cereal, and I am a Sugar Smacks guy.
Last one, beignets or gumbo?
Damn, that's a tough one right there. I'm gonna go with the gumbo, man.
Well, there it is, our Hall of Famer hot seat, man. Marshall, we want to thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us right here on The Mission, and we can't wait to host you once again. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
All good, brother. Have a good one.